Good morning, all. Eric coming at you from Cruising with Cheryl and Eric. I'm the Eric half. Cheryl's my other half, my better half. She's not joining us this morning on this cruise news you can use segment. So you got to deal with me. So I got lots of stories to talk about today. Everything from staff being rude to guests to loyalty gifts to let's see what else we got. We got a scary couple of moments for parents in Salerno, Italy, and an arrival delay, among others. So, you ready to get started? Let's go. The first story this morning seems like Carnival's been getting some complaints lately that the room staff, the stateroom, staff has been rude to guests. Give me a moment to pause for the cause. So it turns out that platinum and diamond guests on Carnival ships have the ability to go to their stateroom basically as soon as they get on board, and that perk has been meant to allow them to head to their room, drop off their carry-ons, and then head out to the ship and enjoy the ship. Well, seems like some of the guests weren't doing that. They were going to their stateroom and basically hanging out in their stateroom, even though the stateroom attendants are trying to come in and clean and get the room prepped for the next for that guest. Because if you've been on a cruise or been around the industry, you know that the ships the passengers from the ending cruise get off the ship 8 9 and 7 8 9 in the morning, and the next set of guests are ready to come on board by 11 a.m 12 o'clock, something like that. So the stateroom attendants only have a couple hours to completely turn 10 15 20 rooms. And so when the stateroom attendants would ask the guests to please vacate the room, these platinum or diamond guests got a little huffy, and thought that the staff was being rude to them. So CEO, I'm sorry, not CEO, Carnival spokesperson, basically had a put out a release saying, "Hey guys, get out of the room. Go in, drop off your carry-on bags, and leave. Go enjoy the ship. The stateroom attendants still need to do their job, even though we allow you to put your stuff in the room. Put the stuff in the room. Try and put it somewhere out of the way, under the bed or something like one compact area, so that the attendants can still clean the room and go wander the ship. The staff's not being rude to you; they're just trying to do their job. So." Yes, you earned the right. You're platinum, you're diamond, you've been on board, 50 nights, 100 nights. I don't remember off the top of my head what the tier levels are for those levels, but have a little courtesy. Drop your bags off and go on to the ship. Go to the buffet, go to the main dining room, get some lunch. Let them do their job. Anyway, on to the next story. Sticking with Carnival, I figured I'd kind of group them together. And so anybody that hits diamond tier is supposed to get a perk, either like a leather embossed luggage tag or a passport holder set, something from Carnival thanking them for their loyalty. Well, it seems like Carnival kind of dropped the ball on that this year, and they released a statement basically saying that we're sorry, we messed up, and we will make sure to get those gifts to you by the end of this year, by the end of 2023. So if you're on a cruise between now and the end of the year, you'll get it, in your stateroom like it's supposed to be. The way it's supposed to work is, you're on a cruise, you hit diamond tier, the next cruise you take, you're supposed to have that gift waiting for you in your stateroom. But if that didn't happen and you're not planning on going on cruise before the end of 23, Carnival says they're going to mail them to you. So if you're not on a cruise, you hit that rank. Make sure to keep your eye out for in the mail for a nice little present, for lack of a better word. So it seems like, on to the next story. It seems like Oceania Cruise Lines is upping their stake in Alaska starting in 2025. If you've never heard of Oceania, they're kind of a boutique luxury brand that's owned by NCL. They've got, I believe, about a dozen ships. They're smaller, more intimate ships than some of their bigger cousins. But for the last, I think it's like 10 years now, the Oceania Regatta ship has been doing the Alaskan itineraries. But starting in 2025, they're switching that out. They're taking the Regatta out of Alaska, and they're moving the Riviera into doing the Alaskan itineraries. I believe they're doing 7 and 10 night itineraries, or 7 and 12 night itineraries in 2025. The upside is the Riviera has pretty much double the capacity, passenger capacity, as the Regatta. Regatta had 684 staterooms. Riviera has 1250. They're definitely, I would say Oceania is definitely interested in making a bigger presence, having a bigger presence in Alaska. And one more thing to note is that they're creating a series of culinary discovery tours for the Riviera. I get the feeling that if these are successful, they're going to spread them out. They're going to do the same kind of thing on a lot of their other ships. They're called Culinary Discovery Tours, and they're excursions. They're chef-led excursions. Excuse me. You're going to be doing a variety of things, from seafood cooking instruction, so learning how to cook seafood, to visiting oyster farms, and basically spending the day with a world-class chef. Because one of the things that Oceania is known for is they have a 1 chef to every 10 passenger ratio throughout their whole fleet. So they're very food focused, is probably a good way to put it. So for those of you foodies out there, Oceania might be worth checking out. Not maybe, maybe you don't want to go to Alaska, okay, but they do have other warm water itineraries. And supposedly their food is absolutely amazing. Real quick before we go on to the next story, if you enjoy the cruise news, you can use segments. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and get notified every time I post one of these. I post one of these news segments pretty much every morning, Monday to Friday. Got something new planned for Sunday, so I'm going to start doing 6 days a week, starting this coming Sunday. And I hope you enjoy it. Next story, couple of a set of parents had a couple of scary moments in Salerno, Italy, on the Royal Caribbean Enchantment of the Seas. This family, I believe it was a family of 4, had just gotten off of the ship onto the dock, getting ready to take an excursion, and their son, I believe he was 7 or 8 years old, decides, he doesn't want to stand still next to his daddy and hold daddy's hand anymore. So, he wants to explore. So he, wiggles out of dad's hand and starts walking around, and he slipped and fell into the water in between the ship and the dock. And dad saw it, thank God, and jumped right in after him and grabbed him, and was there. And mom started screaming, of course, which is a good thing, because that alerted any the crew members in the area, and they came running over, and they threw life what do they call the donuts, life preservers, oh goodness, why can't I think of that word? What I'm talking about, the circles, threw them in the water. They were able to actually grab the boy and lift him up, and they got dad out safe. So everybody was safe, a little bit wet, but safe. And of course, a little scared. But thank God nobody got hurt. or worse. And so scary couple of moments, but a happy ending to it. And I hope that family was able to enjoy the rest of their cruise. And so that would scare anybody. Next up on our story list is the Oasis. The Oasis of the Seas had to they basically delayed their arrival into Port Canaveral a little bit on, I believe it was the 3rd. So basically the night before, the captain came on it's not, they don't call it the 1MC. Basically, the speakers, and let the passengers know, and they also sent a letter to each stateroom that they were going to be an hour late getting into Port Canaveral, and that all the tours would be adjusted so nobody missed out on the tour. But it seems that there was an electronics component in one of the propulsion rods that needed to be replaced. And as a precaution, the captain decided to slow the speed of the ship while those repairs were being, getting started, and just make sure that the ship was safe, that they weren't doing any more damage, and that nobody was at risk. The downside to that is they arrived an hour late, like I said, into Port Canaveral. But seems like that those repairs were already underway before they even arrived in Canaveral, and there were no other planned itinerary changes, arrivals, departures, anything like that, based on the letter that the captain sent out. So that was good. Yeah, they did miss out in an hour in Canaveral, but honestly, me personally, I'd give up that hour if it meant they were able to fix that issue, and the rest of the cruise would go off without a hitch. And that's about it for the news today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I made you laugh with some of my interesting wow, here's another one. My inability to find the right words at times. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.